Good evening, everyone. Namaste, Sat Sri Akal and Adab. Welcome to a very unique program which we are conducting along with Mutual Fund Utilities platform. And आप सबको मालूम होगा, our platform, MisterBond's platform, is integrated with MF Utilities for transactions as well as for smart investment solutions. Today, what I'm going to discuss with you is first and foremost what we are not supposed to do. हम हमारे एज म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स हमारा जॉब क्या नहीं है फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, और जो वो जॉब हमारा नहीं है तो हमारा जॉब क्या है उसके बारे में बात करेंगे. आफ्टर दैट आई विल डिस्कस अबाउट व्हाट दिस प्लेटफॉर्म ऑफ मिस्टर बॉन्ड कैन हेल्प यू एंड हाउ वी कैन अचीव अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स टुगेदर एज फार एज द इन्वेस्टर्स एंड देयर इमोशंस आर कंसर्न. So without wasting much time, let me start with the presentation. Why Mr. Bond's platform is first of its kind platform in the mutual fund industry. उसके बारे में भी हम बात करेंगे. You must understand and appreciate what we have created, and that will help you in terms of how will you be able to guide the investors on the right path. How will you move away from this fear, emotions of greed and fear which is continuously happening currently, and how do we take the investors in a journey which is a much smoother journey and a better investment journey rather than a journey which is going to be extremely volatile in the current scenario, the way we are managing investments of the investors also. Let me welcome Mr. Sunil Nair ji. You are there today just now. Let me just first introduce Mr. Sunil Nair. Prashant?
So you will have to stop sharing.
Yeah, I've stopped sharing. Sunil ji, good evening. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion. I think you are on mute. Prashant, if you can just unmute him and make him the co-host also. Prashant?
So he can unmute.
Sunil ji, you can unmute yourself. Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sunil.
Good evening, Sunil.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to be here at the program, which is being co-hosted by you and MF Utilities.
Yes.
And we from MF Utilities and Mr. Bond welcome you all. And we believe in empowering our partners to do self learning and everything. So we have tied up with Mr. Bond to provide you a lot of extra features, which I think Mr. Sunil Zaveri, otherwise called as Mr. Bond of Mutual Fund, will take through you. And I once again welcome you all. And Sunil, it's yours.
Thank you for coming on the show, Sunil.
It's my pleasure.
Let me continue the journey of what I just started, and I really wish to thank MEFI for giving us this platform, which is, as Sunil rightly said, for empowering the mutual fund distribution community. Why is Mr. Bond's platform first of its kind? वो आपको ये पूरे presentation के बाद पता चल जाएगा. I don't want to speak too much about why we are number one, but we are definitely different from the other platforms which are available in the market. According to Nick Murray का आपने नाम सुना होगा, is an astute investor, is an author of a lot of books also. उन्होंने बोला था कि what is not our job as advisors. Our job is not to outperform the markets. Our job is not to even identify schemes which in the mutual fund space which will beat the peers in the market. Our job is not to outperform markets. ये Nick Murray बोल रहे हैं, मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. Our job is not to outperform and select the best schemes in the mutual fund space. Then what is our job? My job is a behavior modifier. I help people to stop making self-destructive mistakes. हमारा job as mutual fund distributors and advisors, by whatever name you may wish to call yourselves, is to become behavior modifier and help investors not make destructive mistakes का मतलब ये होता है कि आगे जाके they should not have future regret, and that is what we are talking about, that it is our job to just be a behavior modifier. And if I can close the hideous gap, ये क्या बोल रहे हैं, Nick Murray बोल रहे हैं, there is a hideous gap, means there is a huge gap between investment returns and investor returns. हम जो investors को दिखाते हैं on an Excel sheet in terms of the returns of the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years and so on and so forth, वो investor returns नहीं होते हैं, and that is only because we are not helping them manage their emotions. We are also getting carried away as mutual fund distributors in terms of not managing the emotions of investors as well as our own emotions also. Currently, we are in a very similar situation. We are in that euphoric mode where markets are just going one way up, and nobody's paying any heed to any warnings or anybody who's trying to play a devil's advocate. And let me explain to you as to, in spite of the current market situation, how Mr. Bond's platform and how Mr. Bond's smart solutions have outperformed and given much better risk-adjusted returns to the investors who have followed it to the T. Why investment returns are not investor returns? It's because of the behavior gap. हम सबको मालूम है that greed and fear, we remember teachings of Warren Buffett only in the bear market periods, but we forget all the teachings of Mr. Warren Buffett in a bull market scenario like the current one. And what does Mr. Warren Buffett have to say? Be fearful when the others are greedy. Are we being fearful or are we getting greedy along with our own investors also? वो हमको खुद सोचना पड़ेगा, हमको खुद इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करना पड़ेगा. We are concentrating on chasing returns, but our customers are only happy in terms of getting a much better emotional journey, an investment journey, and a smoother investor ride rather than a bumpy journey, which all of us are giving them by following certain old mantras of the mutual fund industry, which is like buy and hold, sip karo, bhul jao, do not time the markets. मैं बहुत सारे examples भी दूंगा आपको. Those who are following me would be following what all I have been saying on Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. also. But I will share with you the latest data. It's not that we are trying to hide behind any false data or falsehood. What we are going to share with you is the latest data. In spite of the markets being at an all-time high, what did smart solutions of Mr. Bond do and how did they manage to do that? ये जो एक क्रॉसवर्ड पजल हमने जो बनाया है, मैनेजिंग इमोशंस, मिस्टर बॉन्ड को बना के, मिस्टर बॉन्ड इज इन द सेंटर, एज यू कैन सी, दिस इज मिस्टर बॉन्ड. It is managing emotions, etc. So one by one, I will explain to you as to what will the platform of Mr. Bond help you do. Manage emotions of both mutual fund distributors and their investors also. When they will become greedy, we will make you fearful and we will take you to a conservative asset class like dynamic asset allocation fund. And when the markets will be fearful, which happened in March 2020, we were the only ones who advocated aggressive investing in equity on 23rd of March and 24th of March, when we actually touched green zones based on our own algorithm. By being in the right asset class at right valuation, when the markets are expensive, stay away from equity as an asset class, but stay in equity through dynamic asset allocation fund, which will have lower allocation to equity. That's what we are trying to say here, and I will explain to you how this works also. Through smart investment solutions of Mr. Bond with inbuilt downside protection that will help you show your value add. Most important part of this is that you must show your value add. हम जो ये buy and hold, sip करो, भूल जाओ and do not time the markets के मंत्रा के पीछे जो हम छुप जाएंगे, we will become complacent, we will not be able to show value adds to our investors. Then why do your investors need us? Why do our investors need us at all? If we are going to be talking about buy and hold, sip karo, bhul jao and do not time the markets, investors will say, you've given me these 3 mantras, I will invest and I'll forget about it. Our job is not managing money, our job is to manage emotions. ये please ध्यान रखिए और ख्याल रखिए. should not be in that wrong illusion that we are managing money of the investors. We are not managing money of the investors. These smart investment solutions will avoid fear of missing out also, because we will be in equity as an asset class at all points in time. Do not exit out of equity as an asset class is the mantra which I am telling you, either through 100% equity mutual fund or through dynamic asset allocation funds, but be in equity at all points in time, so you will not have fear of missing out. And by the way, this will all happen under your own ARN number only. Be your own boss. This is not a sub-broker model. What we are trying to showcase to you here, the MisterBonds platform, is only a subscription model which you will pay on a yearly basis. And this has nothing to do with a sub-broker model where we are going to eat away into your own your revenue stream also. No, it's going to be your own boss. Just pay a very minuscule amount of subscription on a yearly basis, and you will realize as to what all we are providing to you, to appreciate as to how this platform can empower you. Kitna uska use karna hai, how much benefit you wish to take out of it will be entirely up to you. What will this platform offer you? There are almost 60 to 80 videos on mutual fund practice, starting from asset allocation, equity, debt markets, soft skills like objections handling, how to conduct effective sales meet, and so on and so forth. There are almost 200 odd videos on investor awareness programs also, from which you can take guidance to create your own investor awareness programs. By the way, those 60 to 80 videos jiski baat kar raha hu, which are most powerful videos on the mutual fund practice, are being and have been viewed by 1,000 wealth managers and RMs of one private sector bank and 2 fund houses, and they have given an online test also and passed a certification course of MisterBond. Extremely powerful, and this will be part and parcel of your package also. MisterBond's articles, I have been writing articles from time to time during crisis time also and otherwise also, and those articles will be also available to you. रैंकिंग ऑफ स्कीम्स, ये जो मैंने रैंकिंग का एक मेथड बनाया है विच इज वेरी वेरी यूनिक, totally different from the one which is currently prevalent by some of the ranking agencies, ranking companies rather, which are ranking schemes based on the recent past performance. Last 3 months, 6 months, 12 months जो recent past performance उनका अच्छा रहा, then all of a sudden they come into the top quartile. If the rank is not good, if they have not performed well, they will come in the bottom quartile, and so on and so forth. You're not supposed to be changing your scheme selection based on these kind of quartile to quartile performances which differ. Every quartile कोई ना कोई ऊपर आता है, every quartile कोई नीचे चला जाता है. Based on that, you are not supposed to be changing your scheme selection. But we have created a ranking methodology which is so unique. It will give you 2 types of ranking. One is a static ranking of all the schemes in all the categories, be it in the debt markets, be it in the equity market, be it in the hybrid schemes, whichever selection which you wish to have. You will have a static 1 page of past 1 month के basis पे performance के ऊपर, or last 5 years, 3 years, etc. There will be a ranking page, and it will give you all the rankings of under different categories of schemes. And there is a calculator. You wish to do your own calculation and select some of the schemes instead of selecting all the schemes which are available in the large cap space, mid cap space, etc. You can select that also within that calculator and create your own set of rankings or your favorite schemes, and uski ranking kya rahegi, or that also will be available to you in a calculator format. We have financial calculators, which includes the rolling returns calculator also, point-to-point returns calculator also, and smart investment solutions जिसकी बात कर रहे हैं उसके calculations भी back tested will be available through these calculators, which are almost 6 right now, total of 6 calculators including 1 2-in-1 calculator. As I said, we have transaction platform. We are integrated with mutual fund utilities. And I'm sure all of you all are members of MFU, and that is the reason why you are here. And most importantly, trigger-driven smart investment solutions, jahan if you have opted for smart solutions of MisterBond, either in lump sum, SIP, or systematic transfer, we have exit strategy in all 3 ways of investing. On the given dates, automatically trigger driven, these investment solutions will take over, and it will take away the human bias which is attached to our investment decisions. It will take away that greed and fear of the investors also, and it automatically will guide you whether you should be in a conservative asset class or you should be in a aggressive asset class based on the market valuation. We have created and divided the markets into 3 zones: red zone, yellow zone, and green zone, and I'll explain that also as we go along. Market is advocating ranking of schemes based on recent past performance. MisterBond's platform is advocating ranking schemes based on consistency of performance through rolling returns analysis. And how will this look? If you have selected either through the static format or through the calculator format, this is how the ranking will look up. These are the top 10 ranked schemes in the flexi cap space, which is from 2011 to 2021. Any flexi cap scheme which was available in the market at that point in time, उसकी हमने एक ranking जो methodology है. So that's what I'm going to explain to you on a daily 5-year rolling returns analysis. What the ranking will show you is 3 different data points which are extremely important. One is the industry average for that period. The industry average for this period was 13.55%. What percentage of that particular scheme beat the industry average? 65%, 69%, 72%, 67%, 70%, and so on and so forth. So that's one way of understanding whether this particular scheme is consistently performing or not. So there is, in the last 10 years, if you had seen flexi cap category and done a daily 5-year rolling returns analysis, then that during this period, the industry average was 13.65%. This is as on July 2021 and 5 years backwards from 2011 to 2021. The another matrix which we will give you is the investor high return score, which means higher returns in higher returns bands. If this scheme is consistently performing higher returns in 5 to 10%, 10 to 15%, 15 to 20% category, higher the returns in higher the returns band will get more and more marks to that particular scheme, and that is how it is ranked. This, as you can see, Canara Robeco is ranked number 9, which is there in the top 10, but it's not the highest. If you see this Kotak Flexi Cap here, it has got IHR score, as we call it, investor high return score, is number 1. And then the third important matrix is this industry high return score divided by standard deviation, and that will give you IER score, investor experience return score. And that's an important matrix for you to understand that based on higher returns, based on lower standard deviation, which is the scheme which is doing very well. And that is what this particular scheme analysis throws up. And that's how, by looking at these 3 data points, not in isolation, but you will have to combine the findings of these 3 data points, what percentage of yours, that particular scheme, has beaten the industry average, IHR score and IER score. This is how you will get ranking, and these rankings will not change dramatically over a period of time, because this is based on rolling returns analysis and not the recent past performance on a point-to-point basis. Market is advocating buy and hold and sip karo bhul jao. We are advocating downside protection and be in the right asset class at right valuation. And I'll explain to you why downside protection is extremely important. You must understand and appreciate that the investors have come to investing in the mutual fund space to create a second source of income. उन्होंने काफी सारे अपने dreams, aspirations, goals को और उनकी इच्छाओं को मार के वो पैसे को सेव किया है. उस पैसे को वो इन्वेस्ट करके एक सेकेंड सोर्स ऑफ इनकम बनाना चाहते हैं. Then the primary objective for that should be downside protection. Mr. Warren Buffett बोल रहे हैं, rule number 1, do not lose money. Rule number 2, do not forget rule number 1. A legendary investor like Warren Buffett is saying something like that. That means we should listen to what he has to say. So downside protection, according to me, is more important because lower the drawdowns when the markets will correct and आपका जो drawdown कम रहेगा, corrections कम रहेंगे, then the bounce back will be much better. And I'll explain to you with a very recent example of March 2020 और उसके बाद जो रैली चली है small cap schemes में, उसके बारे में लोग बहुत बात कर रहे हैं कि 120% returns in small cap schemes and so on and so forth. But they are seeing things in bits and pieces और आपको एक continuous journey के जैसे जो देखेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा that 120% has no meaning whatsoever. This is the data from 2001 to 2021. आपने जो 40,000 rupees के SIP करी होती, which is totaling to 1 crore rupees under SIP करो भूल जाओ, it is 5.38 crores through exit strategy of MisterBond. The same value under the same Nifty 50 की ये बात चल रही है. It's a SIP in Nifty 50 of 40,000 rupees. It's 6.78 crores. That means on 40,000 rupees SIP over a period from 2001 to 2021, where our outperformance is 1.4 crore rupees on a total investment of 1 crore. As against that, the same 1 crore if somebody had invested in lump sum in 2001, under buy and hold, it is 14.12 crores. Under smart investment solutions of MisterBond, it is 19.53 crores. And currently it is under dynamic asset allocation fund, an outperformance of 5.41 crores over this 21-year period on an investment of 1 crore. It's a huge outperformance, and this is the value at which we are talking about. If buy and hold was supposed to work, then how come equity investors stay invested for not more than 2 to 3 years? If buy and hold was supposed to work, how come only 2% of the investors stay invested in equity as an asset class for more than 10 years? Something is dramatically wrong. Investors are not able to stomach volatility. जब भी markets volatile हो रही है, March 2020 हो, 2008-9 हो, 2015 large cap correction हो, 2012 का corrections हो, every time investors have just run away. They have not participated. हम उनको 20 साल या 21 साल की जो जर्नी दिखाते हैं, they have not participated because markets have been volatile in between, and that's the time when they run away and they are not able to manage their emotions. The most aggressive investor becomes the most conservative investor when markets go against them. How did we achieve this? From 2001 to 2007, there were no triggers as far as MisterBond's platform was concerned. Buy and hold and smart investment solution of MisterBond, the journey was exactly the same. On 1st of October 2007, we said exit out of equity, but you continued under buy and hold, and we know that markets corrected by 60% thereafter. So we switched from equity to dynamic asset allocation fund, which would have fallen by 20%. The equity markets corrected by 60%. So एक जो पहला हमने जो downside protection कर लिया, और उसके बाद November 2008 में our algorithm said get back into equity, then get out of equity, get back into equity, and so on and so forth. Last हमारा जो trigger आया था was in June 2020. After entering equity in March 2020, we have exited out of equity in June 2020, and since then we are in dynamic asset allocation fund. और उसके बावजूद क्या, what are the results of MisterBond solutions? They are shocking. You'll see. So in last 21 years, हमने खाली 7 times in and out किया है from equity to dynamic asset allocation fund, or aggressive to conservative and back to aggressive, only 7 times in last 21 years. And this is the difference of almost 5.5 crores, as I explained to you, and I showed you that data on 1 crore investment. That is our value add. This 1 crore becoming 13 crores in Sensex or Nifty or in any other scheme is the fund manager's alpha. Our alpha is the difference between this blue line and this green line or the orange line, which is the Nifty and the Sensex lines. And this is the same Nifty through smart solutions of MisterBond. Market is advocating high risk, high returns. What we are saying that no, with lower risk, we can manage to achieve better returns, but over a longer period of time, जिसके लिए आपको discipline रहनी पड़ेगी. You should not have fear of missing out. You can't have FOMO. जैसे जुलाई 2020 से आज तक हमारा जो डायनेमिक एसेट एलोकेशन फंड में पैसा पड़ा है, You should not be having fear of missing out, saying that, oh, हम तो ये rally पूरी miss कर गए. हमने rally miss नहीं करी है. What are the accurate calls of the last 21 years? Let me just repeat again. From 2001 to 2007 October, the journey of buy and hold 1 crore rupee invested in Nifty 50 and smart investment was exactly the same, delivering 22% or 23%. Value was 4.04 crores. This is the date on which we switched out of equity and got into dynamic asset allocation fund. But buy and hold investors stayed put in Nifty 50. Thereafter, markets corrected and collapsed. By July 2008, we had switched back into equity. You were already in equity, but your value had come down from 4 crores to 3 crores. Our value had come down from 4 crores to 3.86 crores. हमने यहाँ downside protection किया. Markets had corrected by 30% by this time. We had only corrected by 6% by this time, or 5.5%. That is the time when we entered again into equity. By 2010 September, markets had become expensive again. Your 3 crore had grown to 4.59 crores. My 3.86 crore had grown to 5.83 crores. They are all in Nifty 50 only. कोई अलग नहीं है. Scheme वही है. But because हमने protect किया first drawdown को, उसके बाद की जो journey है is becoming better and better as far as investors of Mr. Bond Smart Solution is concerned. हमने जब ये आपको dynamic asset allocation fund में लेके गए, ideally, because markets were expensive, markets should correct thereafter. Did the markets correct? Yes, markets corrected thereafter. When we took you to equity as an asset class, then the market should have gone up. Did the markets go up? Yes, markets went up by 21% in that period. So आप देखेंगे 4.59 again came down to 3.79, 5.83 came down marginally down to 5.53 because we had taken you back to DAF in September 2010. And then we had switched you back into equity in August 2011. So ऐसे ये जो journey है, finally as you can see, whenever we've taken you to equity, markets have gone up. Whenever we've taken you to dynamic asset allocation fund, markets have gone down. And that 1 crore has grown to 12.5 crores. This is as on 31st of July. That 1 crore has grown to 18.5 crores, almost 6 crore difference between buy and hold versus smart investment solutions of Mr. Bond. मार्केट इज एडवोकेटिंग राइट वॉलेटिलिटी. मार्केट बोल रहा है आप बाय करो, होल्ड करो, मार्केट ऊपर जाए नीचे जाए उसको पकड़ के रखो. बट आई एम एब्सोल्युटली अगेंस्ट दिस. लेट मी आस्क यू अ वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन. व्हेन द मार्केट्स करेक्टेड बाय 60% इन 2008-9, जब भी मार्केट ने मार्च 2020 में 40% गिरी थी, डिड यू बाय एंड होल्ड और डिड यू एक्चुअली पैनिक एंड एग्जिट एज एन इन्वेस्टर ऑल्सो एंड एज अ म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर ऑल्सो? 99% of the times, most of the mutual fund distributors and their investors have exited. They could not have sustained such volatility. एक psychological mark रह जाता है, दिल में चुभन सी रह जाती है. This is not the time when we can give them a ज्ञान के सब markets बहुत सस्ती हो गई है, अभी आप invest कीजिए, etc. etc. When somebody is saying 1 crore becoming 40 lakh rupees और उसको आप ज्ञान देने को जाओगे, naturally he is in no mood to listen. बट उसको पहले से आपने जो डायनेमिक एसेट एलोकेशन फंड में लेके गए होते बिफोर मार्च 2020 व्हेन द मार्केट्स वर एक्सपेंसिव, एंड आई विल शेयर दैट डेटा विथ यू, और उसके बाद मार्केट करेक्ट करेगी एंड इफ यू आर सिटिंग ऑन 60-70% कैश, यू विल बी वेरी हैप्पी. ही विल से यस लेट्स पुट बैक मनी इनटू द इक्विटी बिकॉज अभी हम तो हमारे पास तो 60-70% कैश पड़ा है, सो लेट्स टेक एडवांटेज ऑफ दैट. That can be possible only when you're doing proper asset allocation, and this is an asset allocation theory only. Mr. Bond's platform is advocating it is better to be prepared a year too early than a day too late. Let me repeat this again. It is better to be prepared a year too early than a day too late. Let me share some data now. We gave an exit call in 2017, somewhere in July or August 2017 में हमारा exit call आया था. Since 2017, so ये मैंने 2018 January से लिया है. 2018 to 2020 we were in dynamic asset allocation. किसी ने भी investment की होती on 1st of January 2018, whether he selected small cap, mid cap, large cap, whatever, irrespective of that, because we were in the red zone, the money would have gone to a dynamic asset allocation fund. on that particular day of 1st of Jan 2018. All of us are aware, especially this set of audience who are in this market, कि ड्यूरिंग दिस पीरियड खाली 10 निफ्टी 50 के स्टॉक्स ऊपर जा रहे थे, इसीलिए निफ्टी 50 ऊपर जाती हुई दिख रही थी. इट वाज अ परसेप्शन दैट निफ्टी इज गोइंग अप, बट अंडरलाइंग, एज यू नो, निफ्टी मिड कैप एंड निफ्टी स्मॉल कैप it had already started bleeding and correcting. Nifty 50 was 8%. A counter cyclical DAF had delivered almost 7%, and a pro cyclical had delivered 5%. You can say there is some underperformance during this period of 2 years. वो 2 साल आपको उसको पकड़ के रखना पड़ता, but simultaneously, as you can see, mid cap and small caps were only bleeding. So flexi cap schemes में आप होते तो flexi cap also would have started correcting and underperform dynamic asset allocation funds. Come 23rd of March 2020, because we were in dynamic asset allocation fund, we protected the downside. We were down by 2.5% to 7.5% versus 13, 25 and 36% of small cap, mid cap and large cap. Better to be prepared a year too early than a day too late. On this particular day, the value of 1 crore in small cap was worth only 36 lakh rupees. Only 36 lakh rupees. ये प्लीज याद रखिएगा, ये अमाउंट को, ये फिगर को मैं आपको आगे भी दिखाऊंगा. अभी जो बोला जाता है, ओ माय गॉड, स्मॉल कैप्स हैव रियली डिलीवर्ड फैंटास्टिक रैली, बहुत अच्छा सा रिटर्न दिया है, बट हाउ मेनी can truthfully say that you have participated in this rally? March 2020 में most of the investors actually exited out of it. Forget that. Let's assume that your journey was continuing from 1st of Jan 2018, but आपको ये दिखाया जाता है कि small caps had delivered 115% rally from 23rd March 2020 to 30th of September 2021. 1 crore in small caps would have delivered 3 crore 21 lakhs, and we were already in dynamic asset allocation fund. It would have delivered 45%. हमने तो बहुत underperformance कर दिया. That's what people are trying to tell me, but how wrong they are is what I'm going to show to you. So yeah, 1 crore in smart solutions from 23rd March, from July 2021 till now. So 23rd March to now, आप देखोगे तो 1 crore 75 lakhs versus 3 crore 21 lakhs. But 1 crore invested on 1st of January 2018 till 23rd March 2020. Value of Nifty small cap was 36 lakh rupees as on 23rd of March. Value of smart solutions under the small cap only, आपने small cap select किया होता, but you would have been dynamic asset allocation fund, because you would have been, our system would have taken you to a conservative asset class, was worth 95 lakh rupees. एंड उसके बाद जो मार्केट ऊपर चली गई, सो हमने ऑन 23rd of March वी हैव स्विच्ड इनटू स्मॉल कैप. यू वर ऑलरेडी इनटू स्मॉल कैप, 36 lakhs versus 95 lakh rupees. From here the market started going up, and by June we exited out of small caps again, and we are back again in dynamic asset allocation fund. So if you see a continuous journey from 1st of Jan 2018 to now, small caps value of 1 crore is only 1 crore 18 lakhs, delivering 4.5%. As against that, small caps value through smart solutions of MisterBond is 1 crore 67 lakhs, delivering 15% CAGR. And where are we currently? We are in dynamic asset allocation fund. और यहाँ से जो market correct करना शुरू करेगी, as and when, I really have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball as to when will that happen. I don't care whether markets go up or markets go down. जो markets ऊपर जाएगी, dynamic asset allocation fund will constantly do profit booking at higher and higher levels. Markets नीचे जाएगी, dynamic asset allocation will constantly buy at better and better valuations into equity. और markets collapse हो जाएगी, तो our system will switch you from dynamic asset allocation fund to small cap funds or whichever scheme which you wish to be in the aggressive asset class. So we are in a win-win-win situation as far as the portfolio is concerned, but now you can see from your own eyes as to how buy and hold with such huge drawdowns in March 2020 has not delivered any returns for your investors in spite of this 120% rally in small caps in that last 1 year. So don't get carried away by this wrong narration which is happening currently. We are saying that first and foremost, protect the downside, which we did in March 2020, 36 lakhs versus 95 lakhs. And then be in the right asset class at right valuation. That's exactly what we are doing. Currently, we are in an extremely euphoric zone. As I said, I don't know when will it correct, and जब भी ये correct करेगा तभी इतना पेन देके जाएगा लोगों को पता नहीं चलेगा. But we are in a, as I said, win-win-win situation. Markets ऊपर जाए, we are okay, we are very happy, profit booking होएगी. Markets नीचे जाए, we'll be very happy, we will buy more units and invest more in equity. और markets collapse हो जाएगी, we are still sitting on 60-70% cash through DAF. We will convert it into equity like March 2020. Market is saying do not time the markets. We are saying that you should time both entries as well as exits and respect market signals. If you do not respect market signals, markets will give you a reality check, which is happening time and again. Currently, you must respect market signals. Markets are expensive. Let me share some data with you. If you were in the green zone from 2000 to 2021, ये 21 साल के data की बात कर रहा हूँ. Whenever market was in the green zone, this is not the algo numbers based on which MisterBond's algo. ये मैंने खाली उदाहरण के तौर पे as just as an example, that if the market Nifty 50 was less than 16 PE and you invested in Nifty 50 and held it for 5 years thereafter, this is that data. But our algo is not based only on this. Our algo is totally different, so don't go by this data only. But जो ये data with like 16 PE and lower as green zone, ये आपको डेटा ऑब्जर्वेशन दे सकती है. तो इफ यू इंक्रीज योर ग्रीन जोन टू से 18 एंड लोअर पीई, यू वांट टू मेक दैट इनटू 20 पीई एंड लोअर एज ग्रीन जोन, दैट इज एंटायरली योर चॉइस. बट इस डेटा से आप जो ऊपर जाने की कोशिश करोगे 18 पीई एंड बिलो, 20 पीई एंड बिलो, द रिजल्ट्स विल बी ओनली वर्स ऑफ, नॉट बेटर ऑफ. Anytime you invested in Nifty 50 and held it for 5 years during green zone periods, from 2000 to 2021, minimum return is 10.38% and average return of 26%. Yellow zone, the minimum return has come down from 10.38% over any 5 year to 4%, and average return has come down from 26 to 14%. And as expected, in the red zone, minimum return is negative 2.3% over any 5 year period and average return of only 7.5%. Please think again, should you or should you not time the markets for both entries as well as exits. 80% of the investors invest in the red zone, and only 1% of the investors who were in asset allocation, who were sitting on cash, who were following some discipline, are the only ones who have invested in the green zone and taken advantage of it. Another example, anytime when the markets were in the red zone and you are invested in Nifty 50, 2007, 2010, 2017, based on the algo of MisterBond, and you hold it for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years thereafter also, your returns are sub 7%. Should you not time your entries as well? As against that, anytime when the markets were in the green zone and you invested in the markets and held it for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, and 10 years, returns have been double-digit figure returns. Please do not forget this data, because markets are giving us wrong mantra of buy and hold, invest at any levels and forget about it, do not time the markets, and so on and so forth. I'm totally against it, and I'm showing you data which is hard data, which anybody could have created this data from the whatever is available. The NAVs are available to all of us. उसको कैसे present करना है, how do you analyze it, how do you put it in the right perspective, is the job of the mutual fund distributors. Market is advocating concentrate on investor returns. MisterBond's platform is advocating concentrate on investor experience. आप देख रहे हैं रैंकिंग भी मैंने जो बनाई है वो इन्वेस्टर एक्सपीरियंस के बेसिस पे बनाई है, ऑन कंसिस्टेंसी पे बनाई है. ये जो हमने स्मार्ट सॉल्यूशंस बनाया है, अगेन ऑन इन्वेस्टर एक्सपीरियंस. व्हेन द जर्नी इज स्मूदर, द शॉर्ट टर्म इन्वेस्टर्स विल कन्वर्ट इनटू लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर्स. दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी पावरफुल स्लाइड, आप प्लीज उसको ध्यान से देखिएगा. 2018 January, you invested 1 crore in small cap. We also invested in small cap, but in dynamic asset allocation fund, because our system said markets are expensive, we'll take you to dynamic asset allocation fund. What happened on 23rd of March 2020? Value under buy and hold became 36 lakhs, value under smart investing became 95 lakhs, and that's when we switched you from dynamic asset allocation into equity. And by the way, after 36 lakhs, you were only recouping your losses. ये जो market जो ऊपर चली गई थी from 23rd March 2020 to now, जो market ऊपर गई है in small cap also, you broke even 1 crore on 2018, invested on 1st of January 2018, broke even and became 1 crore again after dipping to 36 lakhs on 1st of June 2021. As against that, we were already ahead of these buy and hold investors, and we were at 1 crore 57 lakhs. And currently, as you can see, 1 crore 18 lakhs in small cap versus the same small cap through smart investment solutions of 1 crore 67 lakhs. Now, which journey you wish to have? This journey of the blue line, which is smart investment solutions in the small cap, or you wish to have this journey of small cap, which is a buy and hold investment journey? The choice is entirely yours and your investors. Only Mr. Bond's platform will provide you this solution, not a single platform. And I can tell you very, very proudly and with authority that not a single platform in the country has created something which is managing emotions of the investors and MFDs both. We are following to the T the teachings of Mr. Warren Buffett. We will make you fearful when the markets are in greedy zone, and we will make you greedy when markets are in the fearful zone through our own investment solutions. This will all happen under your own ARN. It is be your own boss. हमारा उसमें कुछ लेना ना देना नहीं है. These are your investors. This is your income. You have earned it. You keep it. You just pay us a very minuscule subscription on a yearly basis for all these verticals which we have shown you, which includes the videos, the articles, the calculators, the ranking tool, the transaction platform, which is the MFU, and the smart investment solutions of Mr. Bond. Market forgets Warren Buffett teachings, as I said, in the bull market, and we remember Warren Buffett's teachings in all markets. Let me share one more very interesting slide which I just created because somebody asked me on Twitter, sir, please show me data of the balance advantage fund category, your smart solutions, and Nifty 50 small cap and mid cap from whenever you gave the last disinvestment call, etc. So 2018 January to now का जो ये data है, if you are in a counter cyclical only in the DAF category, your return is 10.39%. 1 crore has grown to 1 crore 45 lakhs. If you were in the pro cyclical DAF, it was 1 crore 60 lakhs, 13.33%. If you are under Nifty 50, it is 1 crore 70 lakhs, 15.17%. Same Nifty 50 through smart solution is marginally underperforming at 1 crore 66 lakhs, but we are sitting in dynamic asset allocation fund, and which is sitting on 60 to 70% cash. That means on a risk adjusted basis, we are far, far better and superior. Nifty mid cap 1 crore 43 lakhs versus 1 crore 63 lakhs, and Nifty small cap 1 crore 18 lakhs versus 1 crore 67 lakhs. As you can appreciate, जिसका drawdown हमने सबसे बचाया, सबसे बेहतर तरीके से बचाया, 1 crore becoming 36 lakhs versus 1 crore becoming 95 lakhs, जिसका हमने सबसे ज़्यादा बचाया, उसका bounce back जो हुआ है in the market, it has delivered the best returns of 14.65%. So our strategy works irrespective of whether markets have gone up, gone down, etc. There will be some periods of underperformance, but over a longer period of time, as I have shown you, there is a huge difference, 1 crore becoming 13 crores or 1 crore becoming 19 crores. Market is advocating concentrate on upside participation. Mr. Bond's platform is advocating concentrate on downside protection. And I have shown you this time and again with various examples. Which mathematical equation will you prefer? Investor 1 follows Mr. Bond's smart investment solution So when the markets are in the red zone, expensive valuation zone, naturally he will invest 100 lakhs or 100 rupees in dynamic asset allocation fund. Our system will not allow you to get into equity because you have opted for the smart solution. Let us assume this earns 20%, markets go up by 50%, but this earns 20% because we are in dynamic asset allocation fund. After 1 year, it becomes 1 crore 20 lakhs. Markets correct by 50%, this will correct by maybe 20%. The value comes down to 96 rupees. So 100 rupees has become 96 after going up by 20% in 1 year's time. Then at this time, when the markets have corrected and you are in the green zone, we have switched you into equity. You are already into equity and markets go up by 50%. What is the final value? 100 rupees is 144 rupees after all this. By investing in dynamic asset allocation fund, earning less, then the markets collapse, we reinvest in the equity and then the markets go up again. Now, same through a buy and hold solution of the investor number 2. He doesn't bother about market valuation. Expensive में भी उसने equity में डाल दिया, 100 रुपया उसने equity में डाल दिया. He is very happy. Markets have earned 50%. उसका value होगा in 1 year's time 150 rupees. Then the markets correct exactly like the same investor number 1 by 50%. उसकी value होगी 75 rupees. Downside protection यहाँ नहीं हुआ, हमारा downside protection हुआ. You are already in equity. We switched you into equity at 96 rupees. You were already into equity at 75 rupees at this stage. उसके बाद markets have bounced back again by 50%. What is the final value? 112 versus 144. Which mathematical equation you prefer for your investors is what you need to choose now. Market is suggesting MFDs are managing funds of their investors. No, we are saying that MFDs are only managing emotions of the investors. Funds are being managed by the fund managers of mutual fund houses. Please keep this in mind. Let's not get carried away. Whenever you're doing asset allocation on your own, it is churning the portfolio every month. आप जो अपने आप asset allocation करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, then every month some money will move from equity to debt or debt to equity, and there will be tax implications and exit load implications, etc. But through MisterBond Smart Investment Solutions, as you've seen, we have switched from equity to DAF and DAF to equity only 7 times in the last 21 years. It's not churning the portfolio at all. Only 7 times in 21 years, but still manage such a huge gap in terms of the valuation. There are 3 ways of investing in equity: lump sum, SIP and STP. We have exit strategy for lump sum, SIP and STP. And how does it work? Market is advocating buy and hold, ride volatility in the bargain, losing AUMs when the markets turn volatile. आपने सबने देखा है March 2020 में SIPs were discontinued, redemptions had happened. As against that, if you had opted for smart solutions of MisterBond, आपका पैसा आपके पास ही रहता, इन्वेस्टर का पैसा इक्विटी से डायनेमिक एसेट एलोकेशन में जाता या डायनेमिक से इक्विटी में आता, बट पैसा बाहर सिस्टम से बाहर नहीं जाता. आपने बहुत मेहनत करके इस AUM को कॉर्पस को इकट्ठा किया है, उसको रिटेन करने की कोशिश कीजिए. बट इफ यू गो थ्रू दैट बाय एंड होल्ड स्ट्रैटेजी, कहीं ना कहीं वॉलेटिलिटी आएगी मार्केट में आगे जाके, एंड दैट मनी विल गो आउट ऑफ योर सिस्टम. आई एम श्योर मेनी हैव सीन दैट मोतीलाल ओसवाल वैल्यू इंडेक्स का ऐसा ही एक टेबल होता है. I have only designed that Motilal Oswal Dynamic Equity Fund. Something similar, but we are concentrating on Nifty PE and PB as a valuation matrix. And this is how the numbers will throw up. This is our algo number. Whenever markets go into the 1615 और higher number आएगा, हमारा algorithm number जो daily हम declare करते हैं based on Nifty PE and PB, then we will switch you into conservative asset class or dynamic asset allocation fund. Whenever markets touch green zone 1154 number and lower than that, we will switch you back into equity when the markets are in the cheap valuation zone. Let's assume you are in the yellow zone. कभी बीच में yellow zone में किसी ने invest कर दिया तो कहाँ जाएगा पैसा? वो पैसा equity में ही जाएगा, because as I have shown you, in the yellow zone markets are still reasonably valued. So green zone and yellow zone में आप कभी invest करोगे lump sum में, through our system it will go into aggressive asset class. And when the markets turn into the red zone, it will go into conservative asset class and vice versa. So lump sum, how will it work? Invest in equity in yellow and green zone, switch to DAF in the red zone. When markets touch yellow zone, after that, let's assume that आपने डायनेमिक एसेट एलोकेशन फंड में इन्वेस्ट किया एट द करंट जंक्चर बिकॉज यूर इन द रेड जोन, और आपका पैसा स्विच हो गया इन द रेड जोन इनटू डायनेमिक एसेट एलोकेशन फंड. मार्केट्स करेक्ट करना शुरू हो गई है, यू इन द येलो जोन. What will we do? Our system will do nothing, because in the dynamic asset allocation fund, they are buying more and more units at better and better valuation till we reach the green zone. और जब भी green zone पे आ जाएंगे, the dynamic asset allocation fund may be 100% in equity, but we will switch you into pure equity. And what is the reason behind that? Even in the green zone, when dynamic asset allocation funds are 100% in equity, let's assume, उसके बाद जब भी market ऊपर जाना शुरू हो जाएगी, from 100 it will come down to 90, 90 to 80, 80 to 70, till it comes down to that 30% in equity in the red zone. But between the red zone and the green zone, there is that yellow zone, so we do not wish to miss that juice. So we will continue, we will switch you to the equity fund when the markets are in the green zone, continue upward journey in the yellow zone in the equity only, and switch you back into dynamic asset allocation fund. And these are trigger driven, अपने आप चलेगा, आपको कुछ नहीं करना पड़ेगा उसमें. Exit strategy from SIP. When 2005 to 2008, 10,000 rupees, which is 3,60,000, became 7.5 lakhs. आपने बोला SIP करो, भूल जाओ. Poor chap continued his SIP till 2009. That 4,80,000 came crashing down to 3,50,000 by March 2009. हमारे system ने वो 7.5 lakh rupees को, it would have switched into a dynamic asset allocation fund, but continued SIP. Where will the SIP continue? If the market is in the green zone, continue SIP in the equity. If market is in the yellow zone, continue SIP in equity. And if the markets continues to be in the red zone, why would you be into equity? You will continue your SIP in dynamic asset allocation fund. Again, this is happening automatically through our system. आपको कुछ नहीं करना पड़ेगा. If the markets are in the red zone, SIPs will happen in DAF. If the markets are in the yellow or the green zone, it will happen automatically in equity. And when the markets touch the red zone again, all which is you have accumulated through SIP will be converted into DAF, but the SIP will continue. We are not disturbing your SIP. Value STP. We have been told up STP karo over the next 6 months or 12 months and you will take care of the market's volatility, but that's wrong. Next is last 6 to 12 months, the entire 12 months were in the red zone. From June 2020 to now, we are in the red zone. आपने SIP STP करी या lump sum किया, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा valuation wise. But if you want to cover the red, yellow and the green zone of the markets, you have to do STP over 5-year period. So our system does, let's assume you have 60 lakh rupees, you park that 60 lakhs in liquid fund or equity saving fund, and वहां से आपको instructions देनी है कि this is my aggressive fund and this is my conservative fund. If the markets are in the red zone, 1x means 1 lakh rupees per month, 60 lakhs divided by 60 installments over the next 5 years, 1x will go into dynamic asset allocation fund. If the markets are in the yellow zone, why would I continue only 1x? Why can't I do 3x into equity? Because valuations are better. And now we have switched from 5x to 100x into equity when the markets are in the green zone. तो आपका पैसा maybe instead of 3 years, if the markets are in the yellow and the green zone for a better period of time, आपका पैसा 2 साल में शायद from liquid fund to equity में चला जाएगा, and you should be very happy because it has happened at the best valuation possible. So this is what we call value STP, 1x, 3x and 100x. It's not 5x anymore, sorry. And उसके बाद whenever the markets go into the red zone, it will switch you back like lump sum into dynamic asset allocation fund, and that cycle will continue. Now finally, choice is yours. Buy and hold delivers the indifferent investor experience due to volatility, or MisterBond solutions for better investor experience with smoother investment journey, plus knowledge enhancement through videos, articles, calculators, ranking, etc. Today, especially, for all those who are attending, if you go on to MFU platform and click on Mr. Bond's icon, which is there, or you can type this HTTPS, two dots and then /www.mrbond.in /MFU offer. You can take a print screenshot of this particular page, and you go here through this platform, through this link onto MFU, and then subscribe to our platform. You will get special 10% discount. Don't come onto our platform directly, तो आपको 10% नहीं मिलेगा, but ये MFU ऑफर के थ्रू जो आप आएंगे और MFU के प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू भी आप आएंगे, MFU ऑनलाइन में एक मिस्टर बॉन्ड का एक एडवर्टीजमेंट चलता रहा है, उसको भी आप क्लिक करोगे, it will take you to the subscription page which will give you that 10% additional discount. What are the offer packages which we are offering you? We have a silver package, we have a silver plus package rather, a gold package and a platinum package. Silver plus package has everything except the difference between the three packages that all are same. In silver plus package आपके पास 300 पैन नंबर्स या क्लाइंट्स को, इन्वेस्टर्स को आपको ऑनबोर्ड कर सकते हैं फॉर स्मार्ट सॉल्यूशंस ऑफ मिस्टर बॉन्ड. इन द गोल्ड पैकेज यू कैन ऑनबोर्ड 1000 इन्वेस्टर्स, and in the platinum package you can onboard 5000 investors. That's the only difference. Otherwise, articles, videos, calculators, ranking calculator and ranking tool, MFU as a transaction platform, and smart solutions all are available in silver plus, gold and in platinum. The only difference is 300 investors, 1000 investors and 5000 investors. Package is extremely reasonably priced at the silver plus. This is not the silver one. The silver plus is a package priced at 15,000. The gold package is at 20,000 and the platinum package is at 30,000. So when you type that link or go from the MFU online onto Mr. Bond's platform, it will give you the exact pricing also. If you have any more queries, you can write to us at sunil@mrbond.in, MISTERBOND.in. All of you are invited. Block your date, November 20, 2021. This is my third book launch. It will be attended by a panelists of 6 panelists. It's a studded launch which we are going to do on 20th of November. It's a Saturday at 12 noon. इसकी announcement भी social media में होना शुरू हो जाएगी. I will start talking about this in the social media also. But you can block your date 20th November, 20 November. It's my 60th birthday. I'm going to be launching this book, third book, Think Hatke. As you must have seen, we have thought totally hatke from the others in the market. Nobody has spoken about exit strategy from SIP, STP or lump sum. We are the only platform which has given and delivered. Live example is March 2020 correction, which we had safeguarded totally. And in spite of, and after that, in spite of the markets having gone up so much, and we are in the dynamic asset allocation fund, we have outperformed buy and hold by a big margin. Or even if we are underperforming, our promise is not outperformance. Our promise is to protect downside and be in right asset class at right valuation. Outperformance over longer period will be a byproduct of it if you have that discipline and no fear of missing out, no FOMO. Then only you will see the outperformance over a longer period of time. My other 2 books which are already available and which have sold more than 30,000 copies, Pearls of Financial Wisdom, extremely important book for any mutual fund distributor to own. Make Your Destination a Journey to Remember Through Financial Planning, very good book for investor awareness programs, which if you wish to create your own IAP, this book is very ideal for you. So these 2 books are also available. You can follow me on YouTube channel, I am Mr. Bond, or on Twitter, I am Mr. Bond. These are and this is where you can visit us, www.mrbond.in. You will be able to see a lot of free content also on this site, and this is the subscription which we are talking about. I would urge you, before it is too late, start converting your investors' money into smart solutions of Mr. Bond. It will automatically take you to a conservative asset class at the current juncture. It will help you book profits It will help you avoid fear of missing out, and it will help you participate or protect the downside as and when that happens, and participate in the upside by being in equity as an asset class, either 100% equity or through dynamic asset allocation fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully. Thank you so much, and we can take up some questions now. Sunil, your concluding thoughts, please.
So thank you very much, Sunil. And on behalf of MFU, we thank all the participants who have joined. I think there is sure some takeaway from here. So we would like you to, we have the subscription through mfuonline.com also, where you can go and subscribe for the MisterBond's.
Yeah, I showed them that I took them to mfuonline.com and I said that this is that ad which you click on it, it will take you to that subscription page.
So that's why I'm just reiterating that there is a link and ad which is available in the mfuonline.com also, from where you can subscribe. I think MFU with Mr. Bond, I think we will come up with more sessions for empowering our distributor community, partner community investors, and please wait for that. And I sincerely thank Mr. Sunil Zaveri for taking his time out and partnering with us.
And Sunil, you must tell them also that we are already doing Jigyasa as a joint property. So Jigyasa is a property which we have created along with DSP Mutual Fund and MF Utilities. It's a fortnightly session which I conduct for the MFD community, their investors, etc. And we are taking very relevant topics and talking about them. So now the next Jigyasa session is going to be happening on 25th of October, which is, so we try to do on Mondays at 6 p.m. So this will be on 25th of October. So unlearn to relearn part 2 is going to happen on 25th October. So please join the Jigyasa sessions also, which is along with MFU only.
So we will send you all the links and everything to join Jigyasa also. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sunil, and thank you, MFU, for providing this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Bond, for partnering with him. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.